Hey guys, welcome back to MU Sports TV where we discuss everything concerning Manchester United. I want us to talk about the latest transfer news regarding Manchester United. Which players are believed to be heading to Old Trafford, and which players do we think might leave United next season? The players leaving at the moment, we already know United released 10 players, including the academy and the first team players, as they submitted their retaining their players retained to the Premier League last week, and we all noticed that Johnny Evans, Victor Lindelof, and Christian Eriksen were among the 10 players who were released by the club ahead of next season. And we know that Eriksen, Lindelof, and Johnny Evans have both left on a free transfer, with the Johnny Evans believed to be considering retiring and hanging his boots. But Lindelof and Eriksen, I think they might be looking for a new club for next season. So those are the players we know will be leaving United next season. Confirmed, it's official. But also we know that the players like Jadon Sancho, who returned back to the club after his loan spell at Chelsea. It was thought that Chelsea could sign Jadon Sancho from United permanently, but I think due to non-agreement in terms of the salary that Sancho wanted, said Chelsea were not they were clear with Sancho. They will only sign him permanently if he agrees to reduce his salary, where from the one he's earning at Manchester United. I think he's earning around 250,000 per week at Old Trafford, and Chelsea were not going to match this salary if he was to stay at the bridge. So Chelsea decided to pay Manchester United the €5 million pounds penalty fee in order to send Jadon Sancho back to Old Trafford. And now United will be looking forward to selling Sancho, and they need to do it this summer, because I think the policy is that this season United won't be accepting any loan moves for Sancho, Anthony, and Rashford. They are going for permanent sale in order to boost their transfer budget for next season. Remember, United are in a very tight situation. They only have, I think, 100 and something to spend on the transfer market, and they are going to spend it on Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha. So they are going to sell now in order to bring in new players, and with the urgency of signing a striker, maybe signing a holding midfielder, United needs to sell in order to buy after the arrivals of Matheus Cunha and possibly the arrival of Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. So at the moment, I think United are in negotiations with Brentford. I remember Bryan Mbeumo decided to join. He wanted to join Manchester United weeks ago, and United immediately started negotiations, club to club talks with Brentford for Bryan Mbeumo, and United submitted their first bid of around 55 million pounds plus adds on for Bryan Mbeumo, which was rejected by Brentford because they believe Mbeumo is in the same bracket with Matheus Cunha. So they demand around 60 to 70 million in order to part ways with the Cameroonian winger. But at the moment, I think United are in negotiations. They according to what I read in the transfer news, is that United are now in negotiations with Brentford in terms of the payment structure, how this fee will be paid. Will it be paid in installments, and how many months or years of installments, and also the adds on. Brentford wants player related adds on, while Man United were in. They went with the club related add-on. So I think these are the only few details remaining for the Mbeumo deal to be official. Here we go, and maybe in the next 4 or 5 days, United will actually announce the arrival of Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford if everything goes to plan. Remember, there were news that Spurs might hijack the deal, but what I know is that You can only hijack the deal when the player has not given his intention of joining a certain club. So, as far as I'm concerned, the Mbeumo deal is like the Florian Wise deal to Liverpool, where Madrid, City Bayern were interested, but they were told that Florian has decided to join Liverpool. So no matter how much they are going to pay Bayer Leverkusen, it won't be enough to persuade the player to join them, because it is all about the player's decision. You can submit even 200 million to the club. You can agree. You can have a deal, a club to club deal. But if you don't have a club to player deal, I think it is always a difficult situation. So at the moment, United have a green light from Bryan Mbeumo's camp, as he is at the moment he's giving priority to Manchester United. So it is up to the club to agree a deal. If United and Brentford can agree a deal anytime from now, it is officially that Bryan Mbeumo will join Manchester United for next season. So what I can say is that the news about Spurs trying to hijack the Mbeumo deal, I think, is just a normal rumor in the transfer market. Yeah, that is something we are familiar with. With the arrival of Thomas Frank from Brentford to Spurs, I think this also fueled this rumor. But I think Mbeumo decided to join Old Trafford instead of joining Newcastle and Arsenal. So I think United just need to come down. They need to they don't need to be bullied in the transfer market. Yeah, they need to do this. We have like 3 weeks to do signings before the start of the preseason. So I think we have time to negotiate keenly without being without overpaying for a certain fee that will come back to hunters. I think 60 million max is a great deal if it involves ads on. Maybe you can say 55 million plus 5 millions in ads on, and I think it's going to be a great deal, because looking at Bryan Mbeumo performance last season in the Premier League, also Mateus Cunha, comparing these players to our attackers, Garnacho, Højlund, and Amad Diallo, I think it is an upgrade. I know people will be hating that United are signing players from mid-table teams. This will make them a mid-table club. I tell you what, City signed Riyad Mahrez from Leicester. Liverpool signed Sadio Mane from Soton. They signed Virgil van Dijk from Soton. So they signed Salah from AS Roma. They signed Firmino from Offenham when he was back in the Bundesliga. McAllister from Brighton. They signed Soboslai from Leipzig. Gravenberch, they signed him from was it Ajax or Bayern Munich? If I'm not wrong. Konate from Leipzig. They signed Alisson Becker from Roma. Robertson from the Championship. They had Arnold from the academy. So you don't need to sign top players in order to be a top team. You need to sign the right players with the quality, and transform the team into a top performing team. This is what United are doing now. We are not signing players because of the hype they're having around the show media. We signed Anthony for the hype. We signed Sancho for the hype. We overpaid for. In fact, when I always remember United paid 95 million euros for Anthony, I'm always in shock. How did United pay 95 million euros for Anthony? How did we pay 75 million pounds for Højlund, a young striker without even 20 goals a season? We signed him for 75 million, and Haaland was signed for less than that. City signed Haaland for less than that, and we signed Højlund for more than what City paid for Haaland. So it is not that United are not spending. We have been spending, actually. The Glazers have been spending, to be honest. The thing is, the club is rotten, and you sometimes you just need to rebuild the house. Sometimes rebuild, and this is what United needs: the rebuild, starting from the top to the bottom. Because We always sign players at a very high fee. We signed Casemiro for 60 million, Mount for 65 million. We signed Holding for 75 million. We signed uh, Onana for I think 45 million, 40 million. So you see these spendings. If you compare to other clubs, we are always overpaying. But I'm very happy with what I've seen so far from the Ineos. They're not overpaying for any player. Remember, they uh, they they they, they did not pursue the signing of Jaran Branthwaite from Everton because Everton were demanding around 70 million in order to part ways with the Jaran Branthwaite. United offered 45 million. Take it or leave it offer for Everton to Everton, that is. And Everton rejected the bid. United said, is a take it or leave it bid. Everton thought United is the same United where you can bull in the transfer market. United instead used the same money to sign Alain Yoro from Lille. So this is what we want. We want to be run like a proper football club. When you see City signing Tizani Renders, Ryan Cheki, and Antinori for as low as 150 million euros, is a great deal. See that? So Liverpool are signing Florian Ruiz for around 150 million. So this always gives the player the pressure to perform, and this is a Premier League. You want to perform, but with the price tag on the player's back, sometimes it's always difficult to perform. And we need to change our strategy in terms of signing. And I like the way Ineos are approaching the signing so far. We don't overpay. We have our own standard. There is no Manchester United tax anymore. We offer what we believe is the right one. You don't accept it, we move to the next target. That is how we need to do our business. With Brentford as well, I won't be surprised even if the deal doesn't go through because I don't think United will be paying more than 60 million for Bryan Mbeumo. And Brentford needs to understand that. Mbeumo is a good player, but anything more than 60 million, I think is now being it's not right. We are going to be a serious club if we decide to have a serious management around us. And I know Ineos have been heavily criticized the way they've been conducting their business so far in terms of staff. There have been some cost measures that have not been met quite well by the supporters, but somehow you find that it has helped United increased the PCR from 50 million to 141 million, so for 105 million. So I think it has helped the club in one way or the other. So we just need to see the result in the next 2-3 transfer seasons or transfer windows. We need to rebuild this team, and we can't you can't do it in a one transfer window. We have already had one transfer window. This is the second one we are doing. So we need at least two more transfer windows in order to be a competing team, and we should be doing that by signing complete players. You can't sign a player and then in the next following season, because we are selling the same player. Like we should be making signings that are for the long term future, and that's why I think this season the approach is different. Signing players from the Premier League, I think this is a very good approach by the club because Mateus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, they have the experience in the Premier League. This is what we want. No pressure at all because they are used to this kind of environment. They are used to this exposure. They are used to this league. There is no adaptation needed. Yeah, because they'll have I think for 3-4 weeks in the transfer in the preseason to understand the United way. But Brian for Mateus Cunha is already used to the 3-4-2-1 formation, and I think Bryan Mbeumo as well. I want to take much time in order to understand what it takes to play in a 3-4-2-1 system. So I'm very happy with the club's early signings. Mateus Cunha so far. Remember, Diego Leon will also be coming from the Paraguayan left back will also be joining, and rumors that I will play for the under 21, but I think it will be transitional. Yeah, we have Dogu, you have Amas, Luke Shaw is still there. I don't know about Luke Shaw whether he will be leaving United United at the end of the season, or maybe he will decide to stay for one more season. That is still unclear. But we all know that United are in the market for a new striker. So this brings me to my question, where I think I asked yesterday about whom do you think should we sign? Is it Victor Osimhen or Victor Gyökeres? Both are elite. They have been performing for the last few seasons for Sporting CP and for Galatasaray and Napoli. I think Osimhen is a great player as well, same as Victor Gyökeres. These are great players, but now what matters is the fee involved, and the salary also involved. So it's about how much will United pay for Gyökeres? How much will they pay for Osimhen? Remember, now earlier Sporting were believed to be will be able to sell, accept around 50 to 55 million for Gyökeres, but the past 3 weeks there've been news that they are demanding for around 65 to 67 million euros a pound in order to part ways with the Swedish striker. And few days ago, we saw the news that Gyökeres have been fuming with this decision by the club to demand more from him after an agreement that they will let him go for a lesser fee. And now they're demanding for around 67 million in order to part ways with Gyökeres. And I think Gyökeres is fuming because this has kept top clubs away from him, because Liverpool, I don't think they've been in market for Gyökeres. City has Haaland. Arsenal have been pursuing Sesko. United, they said that they won't be overpaying for any striker at the moment, and United are looking for. They were in the market for a striker. They are in the market for a striker. United were believed to be lining up a move for Liam Delap, whom I think chose Chelsea due to the Champions League football. Also with his ties with the Enzo Maresca, Cole Palmer, Romeo Lavia in the City Academy. And now United were believed to be looking for cheaper alternatives. And Mateta has been also linked with a move to Old Trafford, same as Gyökeres and Osimhen. So Gyökeres is fearing that he will not move to a top club for next season if the club will not lower their demands. And this is what has made the Swedish striker to even remove Sporting CP in his Instagram bio at the moment. So United, I believe that they are now concentrating on Bryan Mbeumo first before entering into a negotiations with maybe Napoli or Sporting CP for Gyökeres and Osimhen. At the moment, the club is concentrating on finalizing a deal for Bryan Mbeumo. Then after that, they'll now be entering into a club-to-club negotiations for a new striker. All I can say is that the transfer window actually is closed. Yeah, it was open for 10 days because of the Club World Cup. The teams being involved in the Club World Cup to be able to register their new signings for this competition. And after that, the transfer window was closed on the 10th of June, a few days ago, yesterday that is. And now it is closed until the 16th of June. Few days from now, to be opened until 1st September. That is going to be a long transfer window. So I think United, they are aiming at the 16th of June in order to finalize a deal from Bryan Mbeumo. So they've given themselves a target for at least 4 days from now. They will be able to finalize a deal for Bryan Mbeumo. Then after that, I think now after that they will be now concentrating on departures, with the Sancho, Rashford, Anthony being heavily linked away with the club, and they will move out of the club. Also Alejandro Garnacho with United believed to have slapped a 70 million pounds on Alejandro Garnacho. They are aiming to get at least 70 at most 70 million for the Argentine forward. Garnacho had, if you told me that Garnacho will leave United few seasons ago, maybe last season after the FA Cup triumph against Man City, I would say you are delusional, because I saw him as one of the best players we could have since the legs of Onani. He was showing potential, but I didn't know there is something to do with his attitude, and that is the problem. And I think we are letting go of a good player, but sometimes talent is not good enough. Yeah, with I know players who have then I can say disastrous career due to their attitude. And Alejandro Garnacho is a good player, but if his attitude is not going to change, I think he'll find himself in a very tight situation. At the moment, uh, we believe that there are top teams that are interested in him from the Premier League, also Germany and Italy. But Chelsea were believed to be interested in signing Garnacho. In January, they were going to bid, but somehow the deal was blocked because United have allowed Anthony and Rashford to go on loan, and they couldn't risk losing another attacker. So for this season, it is now confirmed Alejandro Garnacho will leave Manchester United. With Chelsea now in need of a new winger because Modric has been banned for anti-doping test. Sancho leaving, returning back to United after his loan spell. They depleted, and now I think Chelsea will be looking for a new winger, and they are believed to be in negotiations with BVB concerning Jeremy. I think Gittens, yeah, but BVB wants more, and Chelsea, I think they'll be going back, but not now. At the moment, they are concentrating on the Club World Cup, and maybe between Garnacho and Gittens, one of them might be at Chelsea. So United are believed to be demanding around 70 million from him. So this is a very good idea. I know I've seen some comments that Garnacho is not worth 70 million. I know Alejandro Garnacho is not worth 70 million, but United are asking for around 70 million pounds. This is a transfer strategy. You asked for more, they negotiate for less, for lesser. So let's say United ask for 50 million. No one will bid for 50 million. There'll be 35 million, 45 million, 46. No, but if United have placed 70 million, there'll be bids of 55, 50 million, 60. So I think United are looking for around, to being realistically, United are looking for a fee around 50 million, at least 50 million for Alejandro Garnacho. That is their target. If you get 50 million from Alejandro Garnacho and you get 15 million from Jadon Sancho, that gives you 70 million. Why? Because you get 15 million from Sancho, you add the 5 million paid by Chelsea, that is 20. Add by the 70 million you've gotten from selling Sancho, from selling Garnacho, that is 70 million. That gets you a striker. You have to sell Rashford and Anthony. That gets you a midfielder. So I think United are just being clever. They want to they want to sell at a fair price in order to increase the transfer budget for next season. So don't just think that United are placing 70 million. They'll be demanding 70 million or nothing, because I tell you what, no club in Europe can pay 70 million for Alejandro Garnacho. Only teams in Saudi, maybe Al Hilal, Al Nassr, maybe Al Hilal or Al Hali. Maybe these teams are the only one who can pay 70 million for Garnacho. But in Europe, I don't think any club can pay 70 million. United knows that. That's why they have placed 70 million price tag on him in order to get at least 50 million from for selling Alejandro Garnacho. All in all, Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony, Sancho will leave United at the end of the season. for Andre Onana, Casemiro, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Mount, Holland are still unknown, but I think we can see at least at least 7 players leaving United at the end of the season, and we could have at least 4 players joining United for next season. So guys, I'm certain and I'm sure that the next video I'll be making will be about, here we go, for Bryan Mbeumo, and more news concerning our next striker. Will it be Gyökeres, Osimhen, or Jean Philippe Mateta? Thanks for watching.